Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming to my channel, D versus Debt. This is D, and it's Wednesday, which means it's time to talk about my money moves. So the different things I did regarding my money. So I'm going to talk about why I decided to buy a security camera. That was a major money move for me this week. Some of the books I'm reading. I'm going to talk about how much I put towards principal for the month of January on my mortgage. I'm going to talk about my watch time for the channel. And I'm going to do the invest with me. So I'm going to go over what I got in terms of dividends, what companies I'll be investing in, all of that stuff. So the first thing I'm going to get into is why I decided to finally buy a security camera for my house. That's a big investment for me, even though it only ended up costing me about $70 by the time you think about taxes and all that stuff. So it was basically the cheapest camera I could find. However, I'm pretty impressed with the quality, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a clip of me walking out to walk my dog for the very first time and just being completely creeped out by the fact that the camera follows you and it's stalking my life. Like, I keep wanting to say, why are you obsessed with me? Because it just, it's always watching. It's always there. So let's start back, I guess, to when I started thinking about getting a security camera. I'm always talking about the fact that there are always cops on my street. It's not the safest neighborhood. A great example of that is about a year and a half ago, and I was in the middle of doing a Zoom class. And this was when everybody was teaching remotely. All of a sudden, I'm wrapping up a lesson. The lesson happened to be about the history of cannabis, because this was about a month before it got legalized here in Arizona. And the sirens go off, a ton of sirens. So there were so many police and sheriff, all kinds of patrol cars out on the street. And what happened is that there was a high-speed chase, and the person they were chasing turned onto my street. Well, there's a dead end at the end of my street. There's a giant ditch there, and people don't realize that. So he had nowhere to go. So what he did is crashed into my neighbor's car, tried to jump out and escape, and so they arrested him in my front yard. This is going on while I'm teaching a Zoom class. So naturally with the students, I'm like, you guys, the cops are here because they heard us talking about marijuana. So that was funny. That was just a really hilarious teaching memory. But fast forward to a few nights ago, I'm sitting there, late at night, working on homework like always, and I decided to let my dog go outside to relieve her tiny little bladder. So I open my back porch door, I let her out, and all of a sudden I hear this really loud, "Get the F on the ground." And I was just like, hey, excuse me? So I look, and it turns out that in my neighbor's yard, my backyard neighbor's yard, they were in the middle of arresting a couple of people there. So what had happened is there was another high-speed chase, and that truck had turned onto that street, and exact same thing happened. They realized, oh, there's nowhere for us to go. We're trapped. There's a ditch. They can't get all like Dukes of Hazzard on it and fly over the ditch. So they jumped out. There were 3 men in that vehicle. 2 of them ended up in my neighbor's backyard and got arrested. The 3rd one got away. So that's when I realized, oh boy, I need to invest in a security camera. So that is what's been happening, and so I'm kind of getting used to the fact that the camera is always sending me alerts now. Car drives by, hummingbird flies by, I go walk my dog, just alert, alert, alert about everything. So that's been interesting. So that is my security camera story, and now it's time to talk about the books that I started reading. So last week I mentioned that I was going to start in on this one. I had to stop just a little ways in because I totally got freaked out. So this is funny. First of all, when I had mentioned the author, I hadn't made the connection about the fact that she is married to this guy. So last name, and I just completely, didn't put 2 and 2 together. So if you're not familiar, this guy in this book is basically what's considered one of the Bibles when it comes to investing. And so that's why I had requested this book as well, so I could read it and learn what all the hype is about when it comes to this book. Well, as I'm reading it, it weirded me out because she's basically reminiscing, and she went to this fancy lunch with a bunch of friends that she had gone to college with in Hawaii. So I was like, ooh, interesting, because there's so many ladies I follow that do cash stuffing and budgeting videos that happen to be in Hawaii. So as they're all talking about their stories and sharing what happened, I got to this part. And so she's talking about the Rich Dad Company. So again, her hubby, this whole empire right here that he has. And isn't it funny that even their books match? I mean, come on. Wow. It's like couples that wear matching outfits. So they're talking about, oh, well, tell us about your husband, blah, 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 blah. And so she says, that year we bought an 85-acre ranch in a small town called Bisbee. So this is where my eyeballs popped out of my head, because if you follow closely or if you look in my description box, I'm from Bisbee. It's a tiny little town of about 4,000 people, one grocery store, no Walmart, one stoplight, one fast food restaurant, which is my beloved Burger King. You know, it's tiny. Like, I can't explain how tiny it is. So to see it in a book is like, holy smokes. So it says Bisbee is an artsy community. Yes, for sure. In the mountains of southern Arizona. Yep, definitely sure. There was a broken down shack, and this is true. There's a lot of mining shacks around here that people turn into homes. On the property that was actually an old stagecoach depot in the days of the Wild West. We rebuilt it into a wonderful one-bedroom house with a separate artist studio on the stream. And I'm like, stream? We don't have water around here. What the heck? So they must be close to the San Pedro River, which is supposedly the only river in like the northern hemisphere, or I don't know, something impressive like that flows north. So they all flow south. Ours is backwards and goes the opposite way. So let's see, where was I? There was no TV, no radio, only peace and quiet, blah, 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 blah. So she goes on and talks about Bisbee. And so I just like, hold on, wait a minute. So I had the moment kind of in the movie, The Never-Ending Story, where the kid realizes as he's reading the book, he's like part of the book. And he closes the book, slams it shut, and is like, ah! That's basically what I did. So I just thought that was such a weird coincidence. So I haven't gotten further than page 43. I need to get further into it. But yeah, so far, it's basically about women reminiscing about all the things in life that stopped them or helped them to achieve their dream. Some didn't pursue their passion because they chose family over career. Some of them struck it rich, like this lady. However, to get there, they had to sleep in their car for a few years, things like that. So I'll let you all know, if you're interested, what I think of the rest of it, how it's going. All right, so now because the month is officially over, we are in February now. I'm going to go and fill in how much I paid extra towards my debt in January. So you're probably going to laugh, but I think it's something important to share. So let me go ahead and color in my little house first so that I don't smear the ink and make a big mess of it by writing in it first and then highlighting it. So remember, anytime you're interested in one of my printables, they're the ones that say d.vs.debt in the corner. They're in my Etsy shop, and that's linked in my description box below. So brace yourself for how much I paid off, or how much I put extra towards debt in January. So if you're like, wow, that's embarrassing, or what? Why would you even bother just putting $7 towards it? Remember, it was a really lean month, so I had to make a lot of cuts basically in everything. However, I think it's an important reminder that every little dollar counts. So even if you only have $7 that month, like I did, to put towards debt, do it, because it still makes a difference. Even though it's a tiny amount, over the long term, it'll still have an impact. So what the $7 does is it drops down when the bank averages my monthly payment. This drops how much I pay in principal, not just for this month, but basically for every month for the life of my loan. So any extra money you put towards principal means that you're paying less in interest and paying your house down quicker. So again, even just $7 helps make a difference. So if you're feeling like beating yourself up because you only have, like, let's say $5 to throw at debt, remember, every dollar counts, and it has that butterfly effect or the ripple effect that you might not see immediately, but you'll feel it over the long term. So there's my little pep talk. Again, I was only able to do $7, but that $7 still makes a difference. So now it's time to go over my watch time. So remember, one of my money moves is to get monetized. Because it's officially February, my goal is hopefully to be monetized by the time it's my birthday. So hopefully by Valentine's Day, I will be officially monetized. I don't know if that's too big of a goal, but it's a good birthday goal, I think. So the numbers this week, I now have a total of 1,348 subscribers. So thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. And my watch hours are now at 3,709. So that means not only do I get to fill in the rest of this row, I get to fill in up to here, which is so incredibly exciting. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish I could repeat that a million times, but that would take a lot of hours on my video. But maybe if you watch it, then it would bring up my watch time. Woohoo! So maybe I should sit here and just say thank you, thank you, thank you in like a 24-hour feed. But seriously, all kidding aside, thank you so much for people that are doing my playlists, going back and rewatching my videos. I'm loving the fact that I'm getting comments on super old videos that I didn't want to watch myself because it's like, oh, cringe, I don't want to watch those. But people are bringing up some great questions or comments about stuff I had talked about way back in the day, and I thought, oh my goodness. So I had to rewatch them, and it just was a good way for me to realize, wow, I have made a lot of progress. That's cool. Or, oh, I remember when I was struggling with that, and now it's something that I've overcome. So thank you so much to everybody. That means there are now only 6 circles, basically 300 hours between me and getting monetized. So officially becoming an official YouTuber, a paid YouTuber. So thanks so much for everyone for your help. Again, I'm hoping for my birthday, which is a couple of weeks away, that I can hit the remaining 300 hours, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So that is it for my YouTube tracker. Now for the last part of the video, I am going to go ahead and do my investing. So what I'm going to do for this time is I'm going to go and invest back in the companies that paid me a dividend this month. So not every single one of these companies pays me every month. There's actually only a few companies that pay monthly. So for example, Realty Income is one that pays me monthly dividends. Pembina Pipeline is another one that pays monthly. Armor Residential, which is another real estate investment trust, they're another one that pays monthly. Everybody else though pays quarterly, which means it's every 3 months that they pay out your dividends. So these dividends get deposited into my CashApp debit card, and what I do is just turn it right back around and deposit it into more stocks so that I can build up the shares, which means that I can get more dividends eventually. The goal eventually, like as you'll see this month, I got a total of $5.69 in dividends. Eventually, I'd like to grow this so much that I can use my CashApp debit card to buy groceries or to pay a utility, things like that. So because I just started out in August, I'm pretty happy with where we're at now. But what I'm going to do this time around, because money has been tight and I'm trying to stretch my dollars, normally the way I do it is that I round up. So for example, Walmart just paid me a 14-cent dividend. Normally, when I have extra money, I go back and I reinvest $1 into Walmart instead of the 14 cents, because again, that bumps up how much I own of Walmart in terms of my fractional shares and how much I get back in dividends. This time, however, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this total, round it up, and I'm going to invest $6 in just one instead of going, one by one individually, because again, I have to be tight with my money this time around. So what I decided, and I'll go ahead and insert a screenshot of me scrolling through the NASDAQ dividend history of Realty Income. They're the ones that I decided I'm going to go ahead and reinvest this $6 into. So you'll watch me do that in a minute when I'm in CashApp. The reason for that is because things are crazy right now, as you all know, with the stock market. And so they're basically my safest bet. They've been paying their dividends for over 50 years. That's a great track record because not all companies pay dividends. Like for example, during 2020 when the world went bananas, some companies stopped paying dividends. Some companies shrunk their dividends. But as you can see in the feed of me scrolling, this particular company not only has paid every month for the past 53 or so years, it's constantly going up. So they've never cut it back, they've never stopped paying, all of that. So for me, this is the safest place right now for me to put this money to be invested in. I'm also going to be in CashApp investing $1 in each of the places that I paid my monthly bills for January at. So, phone bill, internet, water, all of that stuff. I invest $1 in each company. And also, I only shopped at one place this week because I've been really, really tight with my money. Again, because there was not much of it to go around in January. And then the exciting thing is that I won a giveaway. So Veronica from 40 Plus Life did a sneaky giveaway for her 1,000 subscribers milestone, and she gave 3 prizes, 3 CashApp prizes, and so I happened to be one of the winners. So thank you so much, Veronica. I was beyond stoked because, again, I didn't have much to invest this month, so now I do. So what I'm going to do with that, because remember, I said in my channel that any money that goes into my CashApp account, whether it's you using my referral code at the bottom in my description box, whether it's a gift like Veronica's was because I won a prize, whatever it is, however money ended up getting into my CashApp account, I'm going to invest it. So what I'm going to do then is invest all $20 that I won in her giveaway into Coca-Cola because I'm trying to build up my share. So with that $20, it'll push me up to a full share. So let's go ahead and get into CashApp and do my investing. So the very first order of business is to invest the $20 that I won from Veronica's giveaway. So I'm going to take those $20, I'm going to put it into Coca-Cola because I currently own $37 of it. With these $20, now I officially own a full share of Coca-Cola. So woohoo! Thank you, thank you, thank you, Veronica. So the next one that I'm going to invest in now is Realty Income. That's the one that I decided I'm going to put all that dividend rollover money into. So I rounded it up to $6 and I'm going to go ahead and invest it there. Now the market's already closed, which is why I'm getting those notifications that it'll be official at 7:30 in the morning my time when the market opens back up. So now I'm investing in the companies that I paid my monthly bills in. I decided to add a new one this month, so anytime I make a mortgage payment, I'm going to also invest $1 into Bank of America. That's where I placed my first mortgage at, but then I refinanced and now I have that mortgage in a credit union, but I still would like to own Bank of America because of the fact that they made so much money off of me when the mortgage was through them. Now I'm paying the $1 because I made my payment for my internet bill, so that's why I purchased $1 worth of Lumen. The next one that I'm going to be looking for is Pinnacle West Capital because they own APS, who is my electric provider. So that is why that dollar goes to them. The next one is a company that I picked not because they're my water company. That company didn't happen to be a publicly traded company. So I picked this one, American Water, because even though they're considered a boring company, they also have a good history. So anytime I make my water bill payment, I also invest $1 in that particular company. The next one is for my cell phone bill. So technically it's through Verizon, even though the company that I have my cell phone plan through is Visible, but they use the Verizon towers, which is why I'm investing $1 in Verizon. And last but not least, for my monthly bill investing is Apple. So at the end of every month, I get a $3 bill from Apple because I use storage from them. So I'm scrolling around looking for Apple. There it is. And now I'm going to put in my $1 investing for them. And that makes it official. I've now invested $1 in every company that I paid a bill for in the month of January. The very last order of business then is to find Amazon because that's who I made a purchase from in the last 7 days. And that was for that security camera that I told you that juicy story about. So there's my $1 for them. And that makes it official. Then all of these purchases will go through at 7:30 in the morning. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.